Hello. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about change management and impact analysis in Service Desk Manager 12.6. As a change manager, we start with the change calendar. The change calendar gives the change manager an opportunity to look at the scope of the changes being made within his organization, those that are within maintenance windows or those that may be happening during the blackout period, as well as additional information such as conflicts that may be occurring between changes scheduled at the same time against the same configuration items. As we start to dig into that a little bit more, we want to take a look at change order 260. There are several things that we want to look at with this particular change. One, it looks like the team is adding something to some web servers to increase the memory 2048 to 4096. As we look at the change configurations that are associated with this change, we can see a list of servers that are going to be affected by this particular change. And in order to kind of minimize service disruptions, we're going to take a look at these particular servers themselves and maybe what they're related to. So in this instance, when we look at this particular web server, we see that it serves, it's served by this particular router, lives in this particular data center, but it also hosts a series of other applications. We choose the CI visualizer that we're presented with, and in this case, through an impact analysis filter that I've selected here, we can see those particular transactions or those applications and those business services that may be affected by a change being made to this particular configuration item. In wanting to minimize service disruption, we know that we need to coordinate the efforts around this CI in order to minimize the service disruption for any of these particular business-related services and can assess the risk accordingly. Obviously, this is being done in order to reduce the risk within our environment. So as we go back to the CI, a couple of other things that we can also see as we look at this in things like the versioning tab, like the different things that have changed within this particular configuration item. This can help in satisfying the Sarbanes-Oxley or the SOX auditors that need to understand all of the changes being made to particular configuration items in your environment over a period of time. This gives you one place to come to look to see what those changes have been and be able to print them off for that particular auditor that may be looking for that information. But that's not what we're going to be looking at here today. So as we go back and we want to look at this change, there was a couple of things. We know that it's going to impact that particular business service that we were just looking at, but we started because there was a particular conflict. As we look at the conflicts tab, we can see here as we hover over this collision that was detected that this particular change conflicts with another change, change 237, because this one affected CI is listed in both of those changes. We now have the information that we need to start looking at these two different changes, working with those two different teams to see if these things were actually conflicts or if they may be part of a larger release. But understanding where those change conflicts exist in your environment reduce the risk and minimize those service disruptions because you have a good understanding of what's changing in your environment prior to that actually occurring. One other thing is, in addition to looking at risk, we'll just kind of look here. As we look at the risk survey that's related to this, you also have the opportunity to answer a series of questions that are completely configurable. And as you submit this particular response back to Service Desk, based upon weighted answers, it applies a risk rating to this particular change. Using that, understanding what those conflicts are, knowing what the configuration items are that you're changing in your environment, give you the information that you need to make the informed decisions about what you can and cannot change in your environment.